have shown us.
Well, I'm glad you said that though, because right, so gets to the end of the event, right, and we'll talk about TSM in a moment, but just while we're here on the Cloud9 train, and I had no idea. I go out, we get to the after party. It's pretty good, you know. It was actually it's the best Twitch after party I've been to, because Twitch after parties, sorry Twitch, they're famously bad. All right, like I can't remember one I've gone to and really enjoyed. But this was actually really good. Great club, great location. We got to a VIP lounge, and it was actually VIP, not VIP, plus a few plebs for no reason. Like the esports crowd were disassociated from everybody else in this nightclub, so it was pretty good. So I'm in there, and I see the Cloud9 guys, and they know I've seen them, and they're doing that whole, you know, like, RichardLewis, fuck RichardLewis. He's on that show with Thorin.
Okay.
You can tell they're trying to make eye contact. Like, oh, just don't, man, just don't. I'm like, fuck this shit, right? Like, you know, I've got nothing against these guys. So I go over there and I'm like, oh, what's up, you know? And they're like, oh, all right, mate. I said, oh, sorry about the final. Sorry how it went down and that. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, look, why don't we all do some tequila? Tequila fixes everything. So I get us a bunch of tequila shots in. And Freak's there and Sean's there and they're pounding shots. Sean actually didn't want to take a drink off me initially. He's like, no. I'm like, mate, let me buy you a drink. He's like, no. You're on that show with Thorin. No.
So, listen, I don't know what you could have slipped in there. Chemical interactions, you know. Might have had Adderall, man. Come on, like,
I think I might even have said that. I said, I think he said to me, like, come on, it's not like I'm going to spike you with Adderall, like that. Something. Anyway, fuck it. So I got Sean to take the drink. And we started talking about it. He's like, look, it's just like, it just feels like everyone shits on us all the time. And I'm like, that's just your fucking persecution complex. When you guys got in that final against Fnatic, no one talked about Fnatic for winning the tournament. All anyone ever talked about was, hey, Cloud9 so good, look at their vests. That was like it for like 15 minutes. JW's holding the trophy. Yeah, fuck off, JW. Yeah, fuck you, you cunt. Yeah. You're in the way of Sean Gares and Freakazoid. Flex for us, boys. It was like that, right? It literally was. And we talked about it, and they just said, look, it would just feel so nice for us if you could just get Thorin. Because somehow I managed to persuade them, I think it was the tequila, that I actually had never said anything bad about them. I don't even think I have, actually, historically.
No,
but anyway, that might have been a lie, who knows. But they just said, if you could just get Thorin, it just give us some credit now. We've made 3 finals. Can you just talk to him? And Freakazoid said, I'd love to meet Duncan and just ask him, like, why you got to be a hater, man? I think it was, he said. So here we are. This is the moment where we can bridge the Cloud9 gap and you can get your blue vest and we can all be bros, mate.
Is that it? No question.
Yeah, you have to give him, you have to.
All right.
Just
I'll give him some credit. Mate, I ranked them 5th in the world. That's pretty good, right? They're above Ninjas in Pajamas and Virtus Pro right now. That's pretty legit. And Envious has just died, so they might be 4th in the world by the next tournament happens. So that's higher than any NA team has ever been in my rankings. The highest before was 7th place. Shroud is one of the best players in the world. He's a top 10 player in the world. Skadoodle, like I just said, is a top 2 AWPer. He's very, very good. Some of the others I have my questions about. Like I said, Sean Gares is really good if he has time with the demos. Give him enough time with those. He's one of the best leaders. If he doesn't have the time, I don't think they're that great just as a pure default tactical team. They have issues there, and he's a shit player. But it doesn't matter. The rest of the team's so good. It's the same with the existence formula. As long as you're doing brilliant in-game leading, I don't really care if you frag, mate, because if you've got enough stars, they do the fragging for you. It's not necessary for you to do the killing. Nothing. He still has some series where he does stuff that doesn't make sense, that's bad. Still, if you listen to the comms, still doesn't even listen, still does whatever he wants. But every now and then he has a series that's crazy. Freakazoid I actually have a lot of respect for, because anyone who's an actual entry fragger who will just go 100% and do what the in-game leader says, even if you die every round in a row, that takes a lot of balls. There's very few really good players will actually ever do that. Yeah, that is and that's true. To me, that is the initial spark that's made this whole Cloud9 run happen. You have to have Sean Gares. He's a massive part of it. Then you have to have the fragging on the other end from Skadoodle and Shroud. But without Freakazoid doing that, I don't think they would win most of these series. They'd have wins, like they'd get a map off someone, they'd lose in a close semi, but they wouldn't be getting all these finals. So I think I've gone through pretty much everyone in the lineup there. With that said, you are absolutely right that they have a persecution complex. By the way, every team in the world who isn't in the top 2 and essentially doesn't win tournaments, so they don't get to hear the overflowing praise, has a persecution complex. What they do is, everything nice they hear is like, well, that's supposed to happen. I'm supposed to hear nice things. Everything that's negative, they just take, oh, why are you doing that to me? Think about this. So the same shit that Cloud9 and Cloud9 fans complain about, right, is what they themselves did in these tournaments they did well. So you remember when they beat Envious in the group stage of ESL ESEA, and everyone was like, oh, this is bullshit. Everyone's saying our close wins are just luck. So then they get to the final, and Fnatic beat them on 3 maps out of 4. Yeah, they were just lucky. We should have won. Really? Well, what the fucking odds of that, eh? It's weird how you react the same way as haters. So Freakazoid, are you just a hater of Fnatic, bro? Didn't they beat you legit? Was their win somehow not legit, and your win over Envious was? How does that work?
But Duncan, I want to end on something good, right? So
okay,
can you
bring it back then? Reel it back.
Yeah.
In. Okay.
Can you make a heart with your hand and just do that? I can't really do it because one of my fingers has got chopped off. Okay. But if you could do it because you've got working hands, and just say, I love Cloud9. Would you do
Cloud9's the 5th best team in the world, Rich, and they're a good team.
I tried, mate. I tried. But look, I think we've made progress. Anyway, let's talk about some fucking winners. Let's talk about TSM, right? This tournament, I was convinced they couldn't win it. I thought it was too much too soon. I thought they were coming back.
And by the way, can I just ask you a second? When you said that in such a polite manner, like Freakazoid was like, I'd really like to meet Duncan and talk to him. Are you sure he didn't like aggressively be like, I'd like to see him see the fucks up for so that
I've known Freak.
Because I'm just telling you, Freakazoid, listen, you know when you work out all those muscles and take other supplements, you know, it doesn't matter how big the muscles get. That muscle that's like all the nerve fibers under your chin, that's still, you go out when someone knocks you on that, mate. I'm just a little bit of bro science for you right there. Like, let's meet and be friends. Let's have a nice little laugh about it.
He actually just want to meet you and be friends.
Don't get hypey. Okay, well, that's good, man. Like, I just told you, I think he's a good player. I think he does his role well. But I'm just saying, you know, you might be able to lift 200. All I have to do is be able to put like a few pounds per second under that little chin, little catch with the old Shields right hook. And they all go down the same, Rich. I think we might have just broken that whole thing about ending the hideout there.
You really fucked that up. I can't take you anywhere, mate. It's fucking unreal. And I'm pretty sure Freak doesn't have a glass.
Listen, I'd love to meet up, share a couple of Adderalls. I'm sure it's brilliant from everything I've heard.
Oh, God, I tried. Guys, I want everyone watching this show, like, just witness it at home. I did try, didn't I? I did try. This guy, he can't be socialized.
I can't.
He just can't be socialized.
People have tried before.
He just can't be socialized. Right, anyway, to TSM, winners in everything they do.